27, female, and have been married for 3 years. My parents chose to attend my sister's divorce proceedings instead of my wedding, and now, 3 years later, they expect her to act as a second mother to my unborn child. I've had to involve a lawyer to protect my boundaries. My relationship with my older sister, Emily, aged 30, has always been tense, but it reached a breaking point when she tried to sabotage my wedding. At the time, Emily was navigating a divorce because her husband was clear he didn't want kids, while she desperately wanted to be a mother. I'm not here to debate whether that's a valid reason to end a marriage. It certainly can be. But Emily was fully aware of his stance before they wed. She married him anyway, believing she could change his mind over time. As I was planning my wedding, Emily's marriage was crumbling. My husband and I, together for 4 years, were overjoyed to finally tie the knot. We'd saved diligently and meticulously planned every detail, but Emily took my wedding personally, as if it were an attack on her. Initially, she made snide remarks, accusing me of being insensitive for celebrating while she was struggling. I brushed it off. Emily has always been dramatic. Growing up, she was the golden child, the one my parents believed could do no wrong, while I was often scolded for not following her lead. When Emily was upset, the world stopped until she was appeased. So her reaction to my wedding wasn't surprising, but I assumed she'd get over it. Then my parents got involved. They called and asked me to delay my wedding because of Emily's divorce. I thought they were kidding at first. When I realized they were serious, I firmly refused. My husband and I had already paid deposits and sent invitations. Why should Emily's problems derail my life? Her divorce wasn't my fault, and I wasn't going to pause my happiness for her. My parents didn't take it well, accusing me of selfishness and insisting family comes first. I countered that Emily's divorce had nothing to do with my wedding, and that she could either support me or stay away. That's when they dropped a bombshell. They wouldn't attend unless I postponed. They were willing to miss their own daughter's wedding to protect Emily's feelings. I was devastated. I'd always known they favored her, but this felt like a profound betrayal. I told them to make their own choice, but I wasn't changing my plans. I thought that was the end of it. If they didn't want to come, fine. I had my husband, his family, and my friends for support. But Emily wasn't done. She started spreading lies among our extended family, first claiming I was heartless for getting married during her hardship. Some relatives sympathized with her, but they didn't think it justified skipping my wedding. So, Emily escalated. She began telling people I caused her marriage to fail, claiming I'd encouraged her husband to leave her out of jealousy, unable to stand the idea of her having kids before me. This was absurd. I barely knew her husband. We'd only had a few casual conversations over the years, nothing deep or personal. Yet Emily lied so convincingly that some family members believed her. Several even cut contact with me without asking for my side. A cousin later told me Emily claimed I'd been rubbing my engagement in her face and bragging about sabotaging her marriage. None of it was true, but the damage was done. When my wedding day arrived, most of my family didn't show up. It was crushing. My parents, aunts, uncles, and even some cousins stayed away. Only a few cousins from my side attended, refusing to buy into Emily's lies. The rest of the guests were my friends, my husband's friends, and his family. The weeks leading up to the wedding were some of the hardest of my life. I considered defending myself, but it felt futile. Emily had already turned so many against me, and those who believed her weren't interested in the truth. Despite everything, the wedding itself was beautiful. My husband and his family showered me with love, and my friends kept me laughing and dancing. For a few hours, I almost forgot about the empty seats and the family who chose Emily over me. But the pain lingered. After the wedding, I cut off contact with Emily and my parents. I couldn't forgive them for what they'd done. Emily didn't just skip my wedding, she actively tried to ruin it. And my parents enabled her. It's been 3 years since I've spoken to them. Sometimes I wonder if I was too harsh. But then I recall the pain they caused during what should have been one of the happiest times of my life. Emily's envy and my parents' favoritism turned my wedding into a nightmare. I've moved forward in many ways, but the resentment remains. Fast forward to now. I've built a life I'm proud of. My husband and I are thriving, and we recently shared exciting news. I'm pregnant with our first child. It should have been a joyful moment, but Emily and my parents found a way to intrude. A few weeks ago, we announced our pregnancy on social media with a simple post, a photo of us with the ultrasound and a caption about our excitement. Since I hadn't spoken to Emily or my parents in years, I didn't expect them to care. But they were clearly monitoring my accounts, because hours later my mother called. Seeing her name on my phone gave me pause. She hadn't reached out in 3 years, not even for holidays or birthdays. I hesitated but answered. She started with fake warmth, congratulating me on the pregnancy, then quickly got to her real motive. Emily. She explained that Emily had been trying to have a child since her divorce, but had faced repeated failed IVF attempts and was now infertile. I felt sympathy for her. Infertility is devastating, and I wouldn't wish it on anyone. But then my mother revealed her true agenda. She and my father saw my pregnancy as a chance to reconcile with Emily. Confused, I asked how my baby was related to her issues. My mother suggested I let Emily be deeply involved in my child's life, claiming it would help her heal from her infertility. She even said, "It'd be good for your baby to have two mothers." I was stunned. This woman, silent for 3 years, now wanted me to share my child with the sister who ruined my wedding. I immediately said no, explaining that Emily and I were estranged, and I wouldn't allow her near my baby. My mother tried to guilt me, saying Emily was suffering and needed family support. She even implied I was cruel for denying her a connection with her future niece or nephew. I shut her down, saying I couldn't fix Emily's life or make up for her choices. I also pointed out that if they cared about me or my baby, they wouldn't have waited until now to reach out. She didn't like that, and accused me of holding grudges that were tearing the family apart. I hung up before I said something I'd regret. Over the next few days, my father and Emily tried contacting me. My father echoed my mother, framing it as a chance to heal the family and insisting Emily just wanted to be involved, not replace me as a mother. He even suggested I'd need Emily's help after the baby arrived. I told him I didn't want or need her help. My husband's family and our friends were more than enough. Emily, however, dropped the pretense of kindness. She accused me of being selfish, claiming I owed her a role in my child's life because we're family. She called me heartless for excluding her. I ignored her messages at first, but when she kept pushing, I blocked her. I hoped that would be the end, but my parents persisted. They called again, this time together, pushing the same idea. My mother said, "Emily's been through so much and this baby could help our family heal." I couldn't believe they saw my unborn child as a tool to fix Emily's pain. I lost my temper, telling them I saw through their manipulation and wouldn't let them guilt me into this. I warned that if they didn't stop, I'd block them too. They tried to argue, but I ended the call. Since then, I've been wrestling with mixed emotions. I feel justified in standing my ground. Emily and my parents showed their true colors by skipping my wedding and spreading lies. They don't deserve a place in my child's life. But I'm also angry and hurt that they'd try to manipulate me like this. It's as if they've learned nothing in 3 years. For now, I'm focusing on my pregnancy and staying positive. My husband has been incredible, and his family has been a rock. They've reminded me I owe Emily and my parents nothing, and they're right. This baby is a fresh start for us, and I won't let toxic people ruin it. But the unresolved issue with Emily lingered. I knew she'd lied to sabotage my wedding, but I didn't know the full story of her life at the time. That changed a year after my wedding when my husband and I ran into her ex-husband, Jack, by chance. It was at a small diner we'd been wanting to try. Halfway through our meal, I spotted Jack a few tables away with colleagues. He came over to say hello, and the conversation started casually. He congratulated us on our marriage and apologized for not attending, citing his divorce from Emily. My husband made a passing comment about the irony of Jack not attending when Emily herself didn't show up. Jack was confused and said, "What do you mean?" "She told me she was helping with your wedding." I nearly choked. Emily had used my wedding as an excuse to delay their divorce proceedings, claiming she was too busy with preparations to attend mediation. Meanwhile, she was spreading lies about me to our family. Jack found her focus on my wedding odd, given our distant relationship, but assumed she was saving face during the divorce. We told him the truth. Emily hadn't helped at all. She'd tried to ruin it. We shared how she accused me of breaking up their marriage out of jealousy. Jack was shocked and apologized for not clearing things up sooner. Then he revealed the real reason for their divorce. Emily had told everyone it ended because they disagreed about kids. She wanted them, he didn't. But Jack shared a different story. After months of arguing, he'd started to reconsider his stance because he loved her and wanted to save their marriage. One day he told her he was open to discussing kids. Instead of being thrilled, Emily confessed something chilling. She'd stopped taking birth control months earlier without telling him, hoping to get pregnant and force him to accept it. She even laughed about it like it was a clever plan. Jack felt betrayed, not just by the lie, but by her taking away his choice in such a major decision. That was the breaking point, and he filed for divorce. I was floored. I knew Emily was manipulative, but this was next level. Her actions at my wedding made sense. She was projecting her guilt onto me. Jack said after he filed, Emily became erratic, alternating between begging him to return and blaming him for ruining her life. She even tried to convince their friends he'd lied about not wanting kids, despite his honesty from the start. Most saw through her, but she didn't stop. That conversation with Jack was a turning point. It validated my choice to cut her off and eased some of the guilt I'd felt. Emily's actions weren't a mistake. They were calculated. I'd been her scapegoat for too long, and I was done. The final straw came recently. After I blocked Emily and my parents over their second mother idea, I thought they'd back off. I was wrong. Emily took to social media, posting vague jabs at me like, "It's heartbreaking when family betrays you, especially when you've always supported them." People commented, calling her strong and saying whoever hurt her didn't deserve her. It was classic manipulation. Then her posts got specific, hinting at my pregnancy. "It's tough to celebrate someone who's always tried to hurt you." Another read, "Some people are too selfish to share their blessings with those who need them most." She was painting me as the villain for not letting her near my baby. My mother joined in, posting about how some family members have always been envious and manipulative, abandoning us when we needed them. She wrote, "It's painful to see your own child dismiss her sister's struggles." The hypocrisy was staggering, considering how they'd ignored my pain for years. These posts weren't just annoying, they were damaging. Family members who hadn't spoken to me in years started calling, some accusing me of being unforgiving and urging me to make peace with Emily. It felt like they'd already decided I was the bad guy. After weeks of this, I decided I was done staying silent. Emily wanted to air our drama publicly, so I'd play her game. I reached out to Jack, explained the situation, and asked if he was okay with me sharing the truth about their divorce. He agreed and offered to back me up. I posted a detailed account of how Emily sabotaged my wedding with lies, how my parents supported her, and how they tried to guilt me into sharing my baby. I also revealed the truth about her divorce. She'd stopped taking birth control to trap Jack, and her manipulation caused their marriage to end. The response was intense. Family members texted me. Some were supportive, shocked at Emily's actions, while others accused me of airing private matters and attacking her when she was vulnerable. Emily and my parents stayed quiet at first, likely unsure how to respond. But then Emily posted, claiming I'd fabricated everything out of jealousy, accusing me of resenting her bond with our parents. My parents backed her, saying they just wanted family unity and were hurt by my cruelty. I was exhausted, not angry. I told the truth, and those who chose Emily's side could have her. I kept the post up for a week before deleting it, not out of regret, but to clear negativity from my feed. Things have calmed somewhat since. Some family members apologized for believing Emily, while she and my parents continue playing victims, posting about family loyalty and peace. I've ignored them. I've done what I can to protect myself, and if people still believe Emily, that's their choice. I'm focused on my baby and my future. If you've dealt with family airing drama on social media, how did you handle it? Thanks for reading. I've put a lot into sharing these stories, so if you enjoyed it, please support by subscribing. It keeps this journey going. Let's grow together. I didn't plan to post again, but my family had other plans. If you've followed my story, you know the deal. Emily, 30, ruined my wedding. My parents backed her, and they tried to make her a second mother to my unborn child. I've cut contact, but they've escalated things to a shocking level. Here's the latest. A few weeks ago, I noticed odd comments on my social media pregnancy posts. Things like, "It's sad when people forget what family means," or "Some blessings belong to more than one person." At first, I thought they were random trolls, but the accounts were new, with no photos or personal posts. I suspected Emily or my parents were behind them. I ignored it, used to their antics by now. But then things turned serious. One account commented, "Be careful, some people don't deserve to raise kids." That chilled me. I deleted it, blocked the account, and felt uneasy, like I was being watched. Then my landlord called. Someone, claiming to be me, had asked if I was moving out soon, saying they were my sister and offering to help. My landlord thankfully didn't buy it and called me to verify. I was furious. This was a blatant invasion of my privacy, and I knew Emily was responsible. I confronted my parents, and they didn't deny it. My mother said Emily was just trying to help, since I'd need more space with the baby. I told them it wasn't her place to meddle in my housing and hung up after they tried to defend her, saying she was excited about the baby. The breaking point came when I learned Emily and my parents had contacted my husband's family behind my back. My mother-in-law called, confused, after Emily sent her a long Facebook message. Emily played the victim, claiming I'd cut her off for no reason and was devastated to be excluded from her niece or nephew's life. She asked my in-laws to mediate, saying my baby deserved a full family. My mother-in-law shut it down, saying we were happy and didn't need interference. But Emily reaching out felt like a gross violation. She wasn't just targeting me. She was dragging my husband's family into her chaos. I'd had enough. I filed a police report about the landlord incident and the harassing comments. I also had a lawyer send Emily and my parents a cease and desist letter warning that I'd pursue legal action if they continued. They didn't take it well. My mother called, crying, asking how I could do this to family. Emily sent a long email calling me cruel and saying I was denying her a chance to experience motherhood through my child. My father accused me of tearing the family apart and begged me to move on. I told him they were the ones destroying the family, not me. I'd given them countless chances to respect my boundaries, and they'd ignored everyone. I don't feel guilty anymore. I feel free. I've cut all contact, changed my number, locked down my social media, and informed my landlord and workplace about the situation. My husband and I are considering security cameras for our home. It's sad it's come to this, but my baby's safety comes first. Despite it all, I feel at peace. My husband and his family have been amazing, and I'm excited for our baby's arrival. This child will grow up surrounded by love, and that's what matters most.